I'll begin with this context. We have now 8 years in a governor who, through stunts like busing migrants or involuntarily activating 10,000 members of the Guard, 9 of whom have lost their lives since Operation Lone Star has begun, or building a mile and a half of border wall, or trafficking in really dangerous rhetoric about invasions and Texans needing to defend themselves and take matters into their own hands. Someone who hasn't made any of our legitimate problems and challenges at the border any better. And he's really pushed the envelope in terms of what the state can do, I would argue, in a very negative way. Whether that's DPS troopers marching migrants onto private property and arresting them there, whether it's this busing program that certainly gets some airtime on Fox News, but hasn't addressed legitimate concerns that we have. What if we had a governor who would push the envelope in the other direction towards actual solutions? So you mentioned a Texas-based guest worker program. The idea is not mine. It comes from listening to Republican and Democratic members of the state legislature, to farmers, cotton gin owners, people who badly need labor right now and are struggling to navigate an employer-sponsored visa program that is expensive, that is bureaucratic, and that just is not being followed or used in any meaningful way. So as governor, I'll work with local, state, federal partners to address a Texas-based, meaning we come up with it here in Texas, guest worker program. If we're unable to implement that, I think we could use state resources to help those farmers and construction company owners and people who have industries where jobs are in demand but unfilled today to navigate or even pay for that process. We all believe that those who come here and those who employ those who come here should follow the law. We all acknowledge that that's not happening today. And we must be about the solutions to that. So fundamental to all, and there's many challenges there, is a safe, legal, orderly way to come here to work. And that's why I center my solution on that. But I would add to that we should work with federal partners on lifting visa caps for countries like Mexico, where the wait time today to join a family member in the United States is 20 years. We should work on funding the adjudicators for asylum claims. It's a 6-year wait. And look, I don't condone anyone who jumps a line and crosses in between a port of entry. But if I were there with my 5-year-old kid in a refugee camp in Ciudad Juarez and my number wasn't going to come up for 6 years, I might do the same. Again, doesn't condone it, doesn't justify it, but I understand why it's happening. So we should solve that. And where we can use our resources, our wherewithal, and also our experience and expertise as the defining border state, and I would argue the defining immigrant state, we should do that. We should be leading on these issues, not pulling the stunts that you've seen after 8 years of Abbott in office.